All right. Here we have the Washington Monument. This is my history of this monument. The mall, the National Mall. They used to have aluminum at the top. When in the 1800s, aluminum was a precious metal. They didn't have the technology to forge it or smelt it. I mean, it had to be developed through an industrial process. Very, very expensive machinery. And it had shining bright metal that was aluminum, but at the time, aluminum, the value was very high. I think it was more than gold. Then you can see at the base, they have a different masonry brick. It's because they started with a certain kind and then ended with a different kind because of scarcity, I would guess. Obviously, Washington did not see this built in his lifetime, but it does represent his contribution as the first commander-in-chief. And then all around the National Mall. By the way, if you want to know where the White House is, just walk down from the Capitol to this and take a right, and that's the White House. Over here is a Smithsonian Museum. Which one exactly? I know that the one on the other side is here is the American History Museum, which I'm about to go into. It's all dedicated to American history. It's a little drab as a concept, but it's got a lot of information, probably more important information pound for pound than any other museum in the National Mall. Behind me, the other way, that's the Smithsonian Castle. That is a visitor's center, but it's like the founding building in the Smithsonian complex. I think they call it the castle, but looks like a church. And that has African American art and Asian American art. Has a relic of Andrew Jackson. And there's a statue of a professor called Henry something. Anyway, I think he established the Smithsonian. And there, of course, is the National Capitol. And you can go there for free and watch the Senate meet, or the House of Representatives meet. See laws get passed. They kind of let you just walk in there, which is sort of awesome. When I walked by, there was a lot of security guards because obviously people stormed it last year or whatever, or 2 years ago, or whatever it was. And but even now, like, it doesn't really have that much of a security presence. Considering, I think the security is all like in the cameras and everything. It's a little more low key. The nature here is really good compared to where I'm from, is New York City. That place does not have very good nature. But here it's almost like a natural park. There's a lot of people jogging. It's the morning. A lot of people jogging. You kind of feel like you're being spied on because they're pretty vicious about it. Down that way, you can't see it, but on the other side of those trees is the gallery, the National Gallery of Art. It's just got some world famous paintings. It has the only Da Vinci painting in North America, which I'm going to go see later. And it has a few other stuff. I don't think it's the best museum in the States, but it's definitely, it's got a lot of Thomas Cole American paintings. I think the American collection is probably more becoming than the international collection. There's a Homer Winslow there as well. Anyway, and then way down the line, you have the National Air and Space Museum. And then on the other opposite, I believe, is the Natural History Museum. Oh no, I'm getting those confused. The Natural History Museum is on the other side of this. Is opposing the castle, and then beyond that is the National Gallery of Art on that side, on the left, and on the right is the Air and Space Museum, which I went to as a kid, and that one's kind of bitchin'. You can play with like space rocks. They literally got from like the moon rocks. And there's some spaceships from Apollo 17 or whatever, some mission that was just sort of secondary, but still cool because they have this expensive suit that went into space. And yeah, I mean, there's honestly, I'm not giving it its just due. There's so much going on in the National Mall, and it's really massive. I'm 6'2", I got pretty long legs. I walk a lot, and I'm like kind of beat. I kind of feel like it may be. And I think that might be the African American Museum. I know it's around here somewhere. Wait, it just came out like 10 years, like within the last 10 years. And the Lincoln Memorial is on the other side. You can maybe see it, the building on the other side, just a little bit. So I have to go there. So as much as I love the museums, I have to see the monuments first. It's kind of annoying because the walking is just one thing. If you're in this area, get like a scooter, because you don't want. It's not really that fun to walk back and forth. It's like, I think it must be over a mile, but it's hot out. It's like 9 a.m. and it's fucking already too hot for me to want to walk around. However, I really like the nature out here. It's Virginia, right? Or it's Maryland, Virginia, similar to North Carolina. So it's pretty soothing as far as a landscape goes. But walking around, looking at sights is like this hideous death now. So, all right. Sorry to waste your time. I mean, it was like 6 minutes. So, ciao. Hopefully I'll give you another video that's way more informative and less diluted. Cheers.